We took some hen and chick plants of all the same variety and size and subjected them to all sorts of mistreatments. First, we're going to stick one plant inside of a box with no light. For the second plant, we're going to not plant it in soil. The third plant, we're going to plant inside of a paper bag so there's no drainage. And with the fourth plant, we're going to plant it but never water the plant. Now let's check in on these plants and see how they did. The condition of the plants after 2 weeks and 5 weeks was fairly similar, the only difference being that any damage that had occurred was slightly more pronounced after 5 weeks. The plant that did the best was the one with its roots buried in the dry soil. Its roots had continued to grow and dieback of the leaves was very minimal. Overall, it was still a healthy plant. The second plant was completely waterlogged. Moss had started growing on the damp soil and any leaves that were touching it were completely rotted. However, when you dug down into the soil, the roots hadn't started to rot and were still growing and healthy. The third plant was left completely exposed to the open air without any soil. It shows the most desiccation or shriveling of the outer leaves. However, similar to the other plants, it's still sending out feeder roots and still looks healthy. The final specimen was kept completely in the dark inside of 2 shipping boxes for over a month. As you'd expect, it did the worst out of all the plants. Comparing it side by side with any of the other plants, its abuse is the most obvious. The leaves that used to be dark have turned white, lots of foliage has died off completely, and the roots, while still growing, are looking the worst out of any of the plants as well. However, we did take this plant out of its box and put it back in normal growing conditions, and after a couple weeks it lost a lot of leaves and then started looking healthy again. With this video, we've tried to show how incredibly tough hens and chicks can be. We don't suggest at all that you treat your plants like this, but sempervivum can handle a bit of neglect and abuse. Treat them right, and they'll live forever.